Blog Talk Radio.
Opening music provided by bensound.com. Welcome, everyone, to today's Earth Energy Forecast Show on this Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. Thank you for tuning in today, or if you're listening later to the podcast. I am your host, Joan Cerio, and I am so happy to be here today because last Tuesday I so apologize. Blog Talk went down. And from my studio, it looked like nothing was working. And actually, the opening music came on, and then I tried to play it because I couldn't hear it. And then I got out because I didn't think it was working. I didn't even have the end episode button. So I apologize. I know I had at least 9 people listen in. And hey, hooray, and thank you for those that really wanted to hear last week's show. I really wanted to do last week's show. And I promise we will do that. That was our Loving the Earth Day with Jane Reading and I, and we're going to do it next month. That'll be on Tuesday, August 18th, and our topic will be calming anger. And I think it'll be time to perfection. You know, the universe knows what's going on, and I just trust. So, but I have to say that this Mercury retrograde was the hardest one I have been through. And last Tuesday, Mercury was still in shadow. It had not reached the same degree it was when it went retrograde. So I guess that was the icing on the cake for me last week. But anyways, we're here this week, and I am so excited. I'm excited for today's show because I just love this type of work. I practiced yoga for a year and a half, a certain type of yoga, and I have done Qigong myself and Tai Chi, and I know the benefit that this work can bring people. And so I wanted to do this show because it takes a little bit different course of what you can do during this time of COVID-19, because Qigong really can help you to reduce stress. And it can help you to transform fear. And it does boost your immunity. So it certainly can help us during this time. And I'm so excited to bring on the guest that I have today. Named Qigong Master of the Year by the 13th World Congress on Qigong and Traditional Chinese Medicine, Master Mingtong Gu possesses a profound ability to harness energy in order to accelerate personal and global healing, making him a sought-after healer, practitioner, and teacher. He was the first in his village to attend college, earning a bachelor's degree in mathematics, followed by 2 master's degrees, including a Master in Fine Arts from Ohio State University. As a graduate student in art, Master Mingtong discovered the treasures of his own culture through the spiritual iconography of Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and Western mystic traditions while practicing yoga, tantric Buddhism, and Qigong. In 1997, Master Mingtong returned to China for Qigong training under Grand Master Dr. Pang Ming, who was trained in Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, and the founder of the world's largest medicine-less Qigong hospital. There he witnessed the healing of thousands, which inspired him to dedicate his life to teaching and practicing Qigong healing. Master Mingtong founded the Qi Center and the Center for Wisdom Healing Qigong just outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. His workshops, books, and online programs and educational programs reach thousands around the world. His teaching emphasizes the power of inner self-healing, facilitates the release of chronic illnesses while improving health and well-being. His website is qicenter.com. You can reach him on Facebook at facebook.com/wisdom healing qigong and on YouTube at youtube.com/Mingtong Gu. So without further ado, I'm so happy and pleased to welcome you to the show today, Mingtong. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be with you, Joan, with all the listeners to share what we can share. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm curious as to what inspired you to learn Qigong and to become this wisdom healing Qigong master.
Every time I'm reflecting on this question, I come up with different answers. They're all true. It's a really, I think, a reflection. When what happened, the way it happened, is like really beyond, what I can plan. It's a lot of surprise events in our life leading to, the next things. But nothing happens as a surprise, when reflecting back, how these different events is connected, So beyond the logistic of things in our life, in the linear time, I think one most important thing in my life since childhood is this feeling of sadness, feeling of not belong to, a family or tribe or place that inspire me to search for something, searching for happiness, searching for sense of, who am I? This question, who am I think started when I was young in the subconscious level. So when I came to the U.S. when I was in 20s, about 35 years ago, and that was like one big change in my life. Feel like suddenly everything's opened up. And I studied mathematics, but I wasn't happy. And I was doing pretty good. I wasn't happy. So until I discover fine arts, I feel like, wow, now I can be really free. But the question still become more tangible, not only in my mind, but also in my heart. Who am I? How can I be happy? So fine arts is give me a way to rediscover myself, reconnecting myself. So without going to the detail of the journey, just like really a powerful time for me to just ask that deeper questions, explore what is possible. And so then in this process, I discovered Qigong. And then I realizing, fine arts was the important part of my life, but it was not really completing my life. So Qigong allowed me experientially discover who am I, and yet it's beyond words. So it's really this direct experience of who I am, beyond whatever identification story, how we grown up, and how we, what is make us happy. Often, relationship have strong impact on, our being. But Qigong really allowed me to discover a deeper relationship with myself, like this internal relationship with my body, with my energy, with who am I beyond any definition. So that is something really kind of anchor me to a new way of life. So in this process, and definitely it's important, but that was as a surprise to heal from this condition named as, chronic or incurable condition, including asthma, including sclerosis. So that was a surprise outcome, but it was an important one because it allowed me to live with a healthy foundation, but also deeper discovery of what is possible, more energy, more happiness, more creativity, but also greater purpose in my life. So after I finished my training, after almost like 10 years of doing practice on my own, went to the Medicine Qigong Hospital in China to study with my teacher, Grandmaster Peng Ming, and then realizing, wow, this is going to be not only change my life, but it will be a new passion, new life purpose. So I came back to start to teach in last 20 years. That's kind of a brief summary of what happened.
It's interesting because you started with that left brain of the mathematics, and then you went to the right brain of all of the the visual arts and studying all the arts, and then you embodied both. It's like you balanced the right and left brain, and then you embodied it, and then the energy just kind of flows out of you, right?
I think that's a good surprise. Good surprise. I was talking to my wife yesterday. It's like, wow, I spent 10 years studying mathematics, right? And that's after college and graduate school. Then spent 10 years study fine arts.
Mm-hmm.
And so then as a surprise, of course, discovered Qigong. Then, spent less than 10 years study, Qigong, almost 10 years before I started to teach full time. So now it's been more than 25 years. So it's like, wow, how did it happen?
Yeah, how does time fly?
Yeah. But I think it's a good example for human evolution.
Mm-hmm. It is
evolving in general. I'm happy to be embarking this journey in this process, even without knowing. But deeply, I think it's really about following my deepest longing, deepest search. Often we say, follow your heart. What makes you happy,
Yes, joy resides in the heart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you can truly follow that. Then you discover, oh, my left brain can make me happy in certain way, but not complete. My right brain is making me happier, but not complete. Now, Qigong is really, as you experience very well, is really about the whole brain function. It's about your brain connecting left brain, right brain. It's about the energy flow connecting deeply with our heart, with our entire body capacity. So if whole body energy awakening, opening, then you're experiencing a deep level of happiness. So as long as you're searching for happiness, you're clear about that. But eventually, you will get to that place. Whole body energy, happiness, it comes in the heart, it comes in your mind, it comes in left, right brain. I think it's a human awakening process.
It is. Yes. And I'm interested in learning more about how you cured yourself. So tell us about Qigong and how it can really cure us from illnesses and how it cured you from asthma.
Right. So for anyone listening new to Qigong, you're familiar with people practicing Tai Chi, gentle meditative movement, and you think that it's Qigong. In one way, yes, but it's beyond just movement. It's an internal art. It's working with your energy body. Encompassing the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Movement is one of the tools, one of the techniques. But beyond that, it's really about awakening the energy, connecting the energy, then cultivating this energy to realize your full potential. So when the word Qigong is simple, Qi means energy. When people ask me what is energy, I ask back what is not energy.
Right.
What is not Qi? Yeah, but there's two kinds of Qi. And one is like tangible, physicalized, including this physical body, including everything you see around you, visible, tangible, physical, measurable, scientifically speaking. But then another existence of energy is not physical. It's even beyond management. Even, the electromagnetic energy existing now, technology-wise, we can measure. But before we have that technology, we cannot really measure the electromagnetic. So for now, scientifically, we really know more about the existence of energy. But there's a subtle level of energy. For example, the light from the sun. On one hand, the spectrum is visible. Scientifically, we can understand how the planet Earth cannot exist without that powerful sun, light. But there's an invisible light beyond the sun, beyond what is visible, what is measurable. So that's the spiritual energy, and these wise beings in the ancient time, they know there is a power, spiritual power existing, but more importantly, they know the importance of cultivating that spiritual power. Human being has access to that spiritual power. Just like Yoda.
Yes.
May the force be with you.
Yeah.
You. Not
the
like
force
the
flows
force,
through
right.
you.
Exactly. Not just the force is there, but can you access that force? That is the ancient wisdom, and that's the power. So when you're cultivating the energy, then you start to realizing more is possible. So when you think of health, just physical body, using physical medicine, physical surgery, whatever intervention to alter the physical condition. So what are we treating the body is more like just like physical machine, biological, chemical machine, like a computer hardware basically. And that's how medicine treating the body, and that's how you come up with the diagnosis. If the medicine cannot cure this condition, then you say this is incurable, then say this is chronic. But that's based on the limited way of treating the body.
Right.
And that means you don't consider the importance of your own mind, your own spirit. You don't consider your emotional, experience of life has impact on your physical biologic. So that's the wrong conclusion, basically. When you say this is incurable, what do you mean incurable? So, but when you tap into the energy, then the first thing you're realizing is the power of your mind. So when you cultivating the power of your mind, then realizing everything is possible. And then you tap into the energy, then you make it happen for yourself. So that means you're making conventionally impossible become possible for you. So it's not about what other people do, what the medicine do, but how you are treating your body, how you are connecting with your body, how you cultivating the energy. So the principle is so simple. First of all, recognizing you have access to your own body energy inside of you more than anyone else, more than your doctors, more than your therapist, more than medication, more than your parents. Even your parents contributed to creating this body. But now you have access to your own body. How could it be otherwise? Well, we didn't grow up this way. We're not training this way. But if I pointing out that, you think definitely how could it be not true? Yeah. But then when you go into the body, then you're realizing the life force inside of you, there's only two conditions. One is contracted, another is opening, flowing. So very simple. When the energy is contracted, then all function of physical, emotional, mental, spiritual is limited, compromised. No matter whatever the diagnosis, whatever complexities, whatever your history of life, yeah, suddenly then you realize that, then you're realizing, if I do the practice to open my energy, then the function enhance, the function change for better, then healing become possible. So that's the principle. So all these physical movement allow you opening the energy. All these practice we do, including vibrational sound, awakening the energy of your heart, awakening the energy of your five organ system, awakening the energy of your brain, then suddenly the energy function start to return to optimum. So not only you can heal physical condition, but also improving emotional well-being, emotional experience, including, for me personally, I feel one of the most valuable discoveries through Qigong practice in my own personal journey is discover happiness is possible. Discover long-lasting happiness is possible. Discover your own happiness doesn't have to depend on the external condition.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the most powerful discovery for me. And that is what I share with my students. So no matter what is their, issue, condition might be, challenge of life might be, in few days, especially in our retreat, they start to feel happier. Start feel energy flowing, opening. So including the people with severe conditions such as Parkinson. And we all know, medically speaking, you have less dopamine, you feel depressed, you feel less happiness. But when you practice qigong, suddenly happiness come back. Then what happened? Dopamine come back. So then the function start to recover. So yes, takes time, takes dedication, takes the learning process. Yeah. So, but it's possible, more than possible. The gift is more than what people think what is possible. That is amazing, amazing experience. Yeah. So right now, on the way, as I told you, I had an internet issue in the house, so I have to come here. And lately, I've been really feeling the importance of addressing the common challenge we're experiencing right now. One of the most common challenges is depression right now.
Yes, yes.
Depression.
Yeah, when you were saying that one of the natural outcomes of Qigong is happiness, I thought, wow, that is a beautiful gift for everyone right now, that no matter what's happening in the world, that you can be happy, that you can find your own happiness.
So when people, on one hand, this is possible. On the other hand, when we say that, people feels like, how could it be possible? If you think of the world, everything falling apart. All the natural disaster. This morning, I was in the meditation, feeling like, oh my God, if I think about all these big problems, natural disaster happening, health crisis happening, so many people is dying for all these reasons, including pandemic, and the economic is falling apart. Even all the relationship is facing the deeper challenges from isolation or from confronting, just like life in general in the small space, in small boxes right now. How could it not be depressed? We know statistically, according to one statistics, more than 50 people reporting clinic depression right now.
Yes, yes.
That is striking, but it's also natural. If you think about all the problem we're experiencing right now, how could we not be depressed? But that is a huge issue. If you're depressed, you don't feel like want to, do anything. Feel like to able to make change. Feel like, what is hopeful. So life stuck in a simply way. So, but the good news is when you experiencing all these challenges associating, with external phenomena of life, if you come back to internal condition, internal energy, internal heart, then suddenly you discover, oh, I can shift my energy. I can open my heart. I can experience the happiness in spite of, the energy around us right now is triggering depression. But our internal energy can, based on our own choice, our own cultivation. So that is really about the essence of this tradition. The wisdom healing Qigong especially is about mastering your own energy. As I shared before, you have access to your own body, your own energy. So the deeper implication is you can shift in the energy, you can master your energy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can increasing the internal conditioning, internal function. So then you can experiencing life differently, in spite of the overall depression happening right now. You can increasing, that's the baseline of your happiness.
And how does Qigong work to do that? There's several different ways. You say you're working with the energy of the body. You're moving your body. You're also meditating. How does all of these ways, how do all these ways work together to open these channels of energy?
That's so important. That is so important. Often people thinking, oh, have done this, have done that. I learned so many techniques. The technique, create some positive change for a while, then doesn't last, doesn't change my whole, health condition or whole life condition. Why? People kind of have these questions. This is normal. So when we perceiving this body beyond the physical, understanding the energy is encompassing our wholeness, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. As I mentioned, when the energy is contracted, then the function in all these three levels compromised. When the energy is opening, flowing, then we're experiencing a greater capacity or greater well-being. Yeah. And that is the process of healing from any disease anyway. So how to work with this energy? On one hand, yes, all these practices important. But on the other hand, it's how we approaching the energy is the key. So for example, if you do the movement, on one hand, most time we approaching the movement as some kind of exercises. You're moving the shoulder certain way, you're moving the spine certain way, you're moving the hip certain way. In the beginning, it's very physical. That's okay. But when you do the physical part, you can experiencing releasing of stress and the tensions. You can feel more flexibility. You maybe even feel more energy. That's good. But that is kind of in the first stage. But if you're thinking about, I'm doing these movements beyond just releasing the problem, I'm opening the energy channels, I'm opening the energy power, I'm opening the energy connection with the earth, with the universe. I'm opening to not only the tangible experience of energy, but the invisible energy of the universe. Then you start to have a deeper spiritual experience about your body, about life. So that is a progression, so to speak. Then you have to also go deeper into beyond just these areas of your physical body. For example, go into the organ, go into the subconsciousness of your mind. And that is the energy associating with your 5-organ system. So to access the 5-organ energy, that takes more than just movement, more than just thoughts, more than just positive thinking. It's in the subconscious level. So that's where the sound comes in. So when you're making the vibration, we all have this common experience when you're listening to lovely music. Yeah, you naturally feel better. Yeah, you don't have to understand what is this music is about. You can listen to song from different language. You start to feel better, and it's a vibration. So in Qigong, we use our own body as instrument. You're making the sound inside of your body, inside of your organ. Then what happens? The energy is vibrating. The energy is moving. The energy starts dancing inside your body. Then suddenly you're accessing deeper subconscious level of the emotional energy body, so to speak. So right now, one of the most challenging stress is the emotional stress. We're experiencing so much worry, so much suppressed angers, so much sadness, and so much fear. Yeah. So if we don't deal with this emotional energy, eventually that becomes a pattern. Then we're stuck with these emotional patterns. Then life will going to be pretty much controlled by these patterns. So what happens is when you do these vibrational sound, you're opening the energy from contraction. So the contraction, in a sense, is inevitable right now. The life is happening so challenging. You cannot avoid in the contraction. But what you can do is opening from the contraction by doing this practice. So you don't have to stuck with these emotions. Feeling fear is natural right now. Feeling worry is natural. But if you're going to be worried and fearful, 24/7, worry, fearful for months, years to come, imagine the implication of that. So anything you do, if you can release these contract energy pattern from worry, from life challenging circumstance right now, that is a deeper internal work. So that's I discover the sound is the most powerful way of doing that. Even meditation cannot access that. You can do meditation. You can feel a sense of calmness for time being, feel a sense of openness, even blissfulness. But the deeper emotional energy in your body, including your tissue, in your organ, takes more than mental meditation to access, to change.
Yes, I agree. I do vocal sound healing. Would you give us an example? Do an example of some sound right now for us?
Yeah, one of my favorite sound is really deal with the most powerful emotion right now is fear. So from Qigong tradition, we understand the fear is the expression of contracted energy in your kidney system. And that's including your reproductive system, your sexual energy, your survival energy. We call it Jing energy. And that's also including your glandular system, your hormone system, including your skeleton system, like the core of your beings. So when that energy is contracted, doesn't matter what causing the contraction. Right now we have all the reason to feel the contraction. You cannot change everything right now, which causing the contraction. But you can change the contraction inside of you. That is the internal process. So the sound is like this. First of all, allow yourself feeling the contraction in the body, feeling the fear inside the body. Then you're making the sound like this. So what that does, especially if you're making the sound long enough, you start to feel the power beneath the fear. You start to feel in the body. So that warmness, the fire of life awakening inside of you, start to unfreeze the energy. Unfreeze the energy. When the energy frees up, it's like this is kidney energy is associating the water elements. When the water freezes up, become ice. Then we're experiencing fear, fight, flight. So freeze, fight, flight often associate with each other. So when you're making these sounds, it's so simple. You start to feel the warmness. Then this life force inside of you was froze up. Now it's opening. It's unfrozen. It's warming up. Then the energy starts flowing again. The water starts flowing again. What happened is nourishing life, nourishing yourself. Then your creativity comes back. So that's just one sound activating the physical power of the energy, even the power beneath the fear. Then the second sound is transforming the emotion of fear. So that the water element started flowing, deep inside of you again. So the sound is like this, more gentle. Again, everybody can try with me together when you're listening, just making the sound, feeling your body, breathing deeply first. Let's do it one more time. So again, when you practice long enough, you start feel the whole body awakening up, feel a sense of aliveness and gentle, kind of subtle, warm energy permeating the entire body, flowing through the entire body, like life come back instead of freeze up, instead of numbed, suppressed,
Mm-hmm.
flowing inside of it again. So then the next sound is awakening the spiritual dimension of this energy. And this is a creative energy, regenerative energy. It's like the source of creation in your body. So what happened is the third sound allow this energy continue awakening, opening, flowing, but also moving upward from the base of the spine up to the chest level, nourishing the heart, opening the heart. Then you're moving up further to the brain. You're awakening the brain capacity, including your mental capacity. Then you basically into pure consciousness, your essence. So that energy start to rising up. When the energy moving up, the frequency become higher and higher, higher. So that's how that works. And so it's very similar to Kundalini energy in the yoga tradition. In Qigong, we call Jing energy, but the principle is the same. So the simple sound allow you to not only transform from fear to power, but that power increasing the frequency when the energy is rising upward, then merge into pure wisdom, pure creativity, pure consciousness. That's the spiritual transformation, spiritual awakening process. And that sound is like this. So again, the process is very simple. So
yes, it is very simple.
More you repeat the process, then more you feel the power awakening inside of you. It's really personal, direct experience. You don't need to, wait for another one validating, oh, this is beneficial or not, effective or not, it's going to work for me or not. As long as you're doing it, you're going to start feeling it. So it's the process of continuously improving your practice. So when you practicing with a teacher, then you start to feel much more powerful, more beneficial. And then especially nowadays, we have access to all the teaching practice through the internet. So you can just do this practice by following this recording. Then you start to feel it in your body. Then once you understand energy is the foundation of life, foundation of health, then you're realizing, oh, naturally, I'm improving my health, improving my life. So it does not really depend on, drug. It depends on someone else. Depends on even the limited understanding of science. Because the science right now, still based on physical. Only the quantum science, the quantum physics, is have a deep understanding of these spiritual conditions. You come into the same conclusion, the existence of energy, the power of the mind. So that is the exciting time we're living. The new science is validating, coming to the same conclusion of this ancient wisdom. So
I love that. Yeah.
It's up to us now. What do? Do you want to do it? Yeah.
So if people want to be able to do all these, make all these tones, to do the sound, where can they find this then, Mingtong?
Yeah, we're sharing so much resources, especially in last 3 months, and we continue sharing that freely, basically, on internet. So one is ancienthealingsecret.com, ancienthealingsecret.com, where you can find the free ebook as well guided practice to enhance your immune system, activating the energy, releasing the stress we're experiencing right now. And so you can follow this practice, can directly experience that. Then also we offer 3 times of free meditation each week. That's on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And that you can discover in our website, chicenter.com, CHI center.com.
Oh, very good. And then they can get on and do the meditation with you, correct?
I'd love to invite you to join us, experience as well.
So how can Qigong help with your immune system? Is it all just moving this energy and moving?
Yeah, there's 2 ways. One is when we accessing the energy, slow movement, slow sound, slow meditation, we enhancing the whole function of the entire body, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So that means all organ systems, their function naturally improve, including your brain, including your emotional well-being. So that is the foundation. Then the second way is slow, particular sound healing practice. I share the sound for the kidney system. We have a sound for the liver, spleen, the immune system particularly. So when you're making these sounds, you're improving the immune system function. And not only in the physical level, but also emotional, spiritual level. So it's about purification of life. Life has to go slow purification. So right now, when we're experiencing so much greater challenges in life, we have to go slow purification. That's one of the natural process of life.
Yes.
When you're enhancing the immune system, you're also going through the purification of your life, including right now, letting go of what is limiting, letting go of what is unnecessary, to simplify our life even. Even grieving, grieving what are we losing. That is a purification process. So to spiritually align in this process is so important. So that is one of the process when we doing these sound healings. And there's also, of course, more techniques involved, but I just want to share these 2 aspects. Very important for us to be aware.
Yes. Well, this is really helpful for this time. I really encourage people to go on and get your free ebook and, look into this. I mean, while we're all home, this is something we can learn at home, correct? We don't need to be in a classroom with you anymore, do we?
Exactly. That is a surprise gift. Now we are more confined at home. Even in the summer, a lot of us used to go out for vacation, do a lot of activity, very busy and so on, which on one hand is good, but on the other hand, we have less time, for ourselves. So now, we kind of have to be home more often. You have more time to go internally. Often I say, when you do Qigong, you're taking an internal vacation without leaving home.
Yes, and it doesn't cost anything.
Exactly. From stress, from busyness, from the normal way of life, and, we spend so much time, and watching the news, getting stressed, don't know what to do. So spending more time to take care of yourself, to make a essential, most important difference in your body, in your energy, then you can affecting, every aspect of life. Then you can, contributing to whatever next step.
So for those that may not know the difference, what's the relationship the difference between wisdom healing, Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, and meditation?
Yeah, that is a big question. So just give some, framework. First of all, historically, yoga came from India and existed in many thousand years in India. So parallel to that in China is Qigong. It also exists many thousand years, can trace back to Yellow Emperor time.
Mm.
So the same energetic principle, and continued of the ancient history in China. And so, but Qigong somehow relatively is not well known. It's more like secretive, even in China, until
Mm.
50, 60 years ago. So yoga somehow is more, aware and more available for even mainstream in India. Yeah. But somehow, for whatever historical reason, Qigong remain unknown and secretive, except different practice such as martial art is less secretive, and including Tai Chi. Yeah. So in general, Qigong, has many different branches, coming out of different branches when it's, for example, yeah, martial art. And certain, TCM doctors practice Qigong, not every person. Yeah. Then certain people in the religious tradition our spiritual tradition of Taoism, even Buddhism, and they're practicing energy practice. So beyond just meditation. So that is really closely related to Qigong in China at least. Yeah. So historically, you can think of Tai Chi is one form of Qigong, but it's specifically for martial art purpose in the beginning. Then now we're realizing health benefit as well. But the principle is more based on yin and yang, based on balance. And most people practicing Tai Chi more like for balance. And so Qigong more specifically about accessing Qi, accessing energy. And so we combine different techniques beyond just movements such as Tai Chi. Again, as I mentioned, all these techniques combined, movement, the sound, visualization, the meditation, combined together, allow you access the totality of energy and access the energy more proactively as well, more, let's say, integrative way. And so for that reason, I feel the health benefit much more direct, but without losing the spiritual benefit.
And how long would one have to practice Qigong before they really feel a benefit from it?
Honestly, this is individual journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about more you invest your time. You're starting with the quantity. More you invest in time, then more you can experience the benefit. Yeah. So more consistent you practice, then more long-lasting the benefit is. So there's also a cumulative result. If you're practicing for 10 days, then the 11th day is experiencing a cumulative result from the 10 days you did before. Then if you do, 1 month, 1 year, then the cumulative result is much stronger. So that's really important for us to understand. Yeah. Then on the other hand, it's like the quality is important. But without the quantity, you cannot have a quality. So that is people have a misunderstanding, thinking, if I do something most advanced, from especially in this psychology of looking for shortcut, looking for quick fix.
Right.
Effective one. If I do this 5 minutes, fix all my problems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thinking going to continuously bring us more problems.
No.
So it's really be realistic, and
Yeah.
life is responsibility. Life is everyday living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you really creating enough quantity in the beginning, then the quality will come. The more you have quality of practice as well quantity, then combined together, you getting the maximum benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, it's about what do you want? What do you want to realize?
Right.
What I have to do? What should I do? It's clarify what is most important for you. Is health is important? Is more energy is important for you? Is happiness important for you? Is, living a full life important for you or not? Or just get rid of the pain? If you want to just get rid of pain, use medication.
Right.
Pain.
Right.
That's so easy. Shortcut.
Yeah, the shortcut. Yeah.
So if people, if I pointing out, then realizing, no
Mhm.
brainer. But we often don't think of this, in such a simple, wise way.
Mhm.
Think
Mhm.
more complicated than is necessary.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah, the mind is continuing entangled in this complexity, in the stressful thoughts, in the stories, in our history, in our, mental um, response, based on the fearful response, fight, flight, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fight it, get rid of it, or flight, resisting it, running away from it. And that pattern continuously causing more problem in our life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all kidney draining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they call it a practice.
That's right. Exactly.
Practice, man.
So one of the benefit people feel suddenly, if you can do something for yourself, even starting now, without depends on something else, someone else, you start to feel good about yourself. Suddenly, you shifting the energy from hopelessness to empowerment, shifting from fight, flight, fearful to a sense of proactive engagement of your life.
Mhm.
And that's the most important shift that we need right now.
Yes, I totally agree with you. One more question before we end. What do you feel is the relationship between healing and spiritual awakening?
That's one of my favorite topic. Based on what we have shared, is when you're approaching energy, connecting, animating, encompassing all dimensions: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So when we connecting, awakening, opening the energy in this way, as we've been describing, then you naturally benefiting in both practical level of healing as well in the spiritual dimension of awakening. So that is the beauty of this process. We're not separating the practical from the spiritual. We're not separating from individual to the collective, from the collective energy we're experiencing. So when we working with energy, the goal is really knowledge is cultivating the deeper capacity of connection and wholeness, oneness. So in the physical level, when we're experiencing that in your body energetically, then your health return back. Healings are happen. When you're experiencing the energy, in life in general, in all relationship to earth, to the universe, to each other in humanity, then we're experiencing the spiritual connection, spiritual growth, spiritual awakening. So this process is simultaneously happening. And for students in the beginning may emphasize in the beginning, say, physical healing. But then pretty soon they discover the spiritual connection is the foundation for this physical healing. And vice versa. You cannot have a spiritual awakening until you can really take care of yourself physically.
Yes, and most people don't realize that it does come through the body. We can't separate the body, the mind, the emotions, the spirit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
If the Buddha said, all the awakening process is happening in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Even, the tradition of meditation, you're sitting, in cross, follow this position and the tree, wherever it might be, mind is working with this body to transmute the energy of the karma the body carries.
Yes.
So eventually you're realizing the liberation, purification of all karmas.
And that is one of the main things we're doing at this time, it seems. So,
yeah, all the karma now is like showing up in front of our face.
oh yes, yes, yes.
You
So,
cannot avoid it anymore. And
no,
yeah,
no. So I encourage everyone to take up Qigong or some form,
yeah,
to
yeah.
facilitate the movement of this right now.
Truly, any practice allow you to go deeper into this process. I think will be have a profound benefit in all levels: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, personal, as well collective. It's
Yes,
a powerful time to do that right now. Yeah.
it is. It is. Yeah, and I encourage everyone to tap into the power that's within them, because we all have that power, and it changes the world. We heal the world one person at a time. I truly believe that.
And
One body at a time.
Myself. Starting
Right.
with
Start with yourself, one body at a time.
Yeah.
We can only heal ourselves, go within. We have our own energy. I mean, yes, we can facilitate healing for others, but it is all ours and our responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing today. Would you please share with us again where we can get that free ebook on ancient Chinese healing secrets?
Happily, of course. The website is ancienthealingsecrets.com. Then also you can go to the qicenter.com to access the free meditation live stream 3 times a week. So be happy to see everybody some point. Be happy to help you in any way we can, empowering ourselves to starting the healing journey, starting with ourselves, starting now. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mingtong. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you. And thank you for your beautiful work and sharing the healing, sharing the enlightening message with the world. Thank you for your work. Haola.
Thank you. Yes, and we've come to the end of another show, and I really encourage you to do this work. I know how much it's changed my life in doing this type of movement within the body, and it just changes your mental state and your emotional state, and obviously opens you up spiritually. We all need that right now. We certainly need to open our hearts right now. And I hope that everyone takes a deep breath and takes a pause, as we are in this great pause during this time of the pandemic. But pause before you act. Think before you act. Come from your heart. And know that the answers do lie within. So next week, can you believe that you've almost made it through another month of 2020? July is almost done. So next Tuesday, you know what that means. Jude Valentine will be here to share with us the astrology of August. We have Lionsgate coming up on 8/8, and we'll see what August is going to bring. We are definitely still Mars in Aries time. So tune in next week so you can find out what's going on with the energy of August. Thank you so much for tuning in today, or if you're listening later to the podcast. I wish you the beautiful rest of your Tuesday today, and much love, everyone. Take care.